Okay, bon natchil b'siyata d'shmaya. Shkoyach everyone for weathering the storm. It says in Tehillim, Bet Hashem na'alech beregesh. Right, and regesh is Rashi Tevot, Ruach, Geshem, and Shelig. So everyone, it's not yet snowing, but it's Beis Hashem na'alech beregesh. Vershus Rav Shulman and all the other Smichas Chaver Rabbanim. The goal of tonight, we want to make it as interactive as possible. So we're going to start with the Kahoot. Okay, so whether you're part of Smichas Chaver, you're not part of Smichas Chaver, let's see how many halachas you know. And if you have the app, we'll start with that, and then we'll jump right into the event. So here we go. We're going to count to 10. 10, 9, 8. There's still people signing in. We'll do what we could. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Okay. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. You're graded based on speed and accuracy. Yankel, the electrician, is fixing, oh boy, 1 second, what's here? He's fixing your light at 12 o'clock. By when are you obligated to pay him? How do we get rid of this? Oh, there we go. Okay, when are you obligated to pay him by? By 12 o'clock tomorrow, by nightfall today, 24 hours after he begins working, or by dawn tomorrow. When is the chiyuv of Baal Talin? Let's see, 1 second. Very good. Chevra, geschmack. Okay, amazing. Here we go. Let's go to the next question. Okay, we got Gavi in first place, Mama Rachel in second, Gishmak, Beth Avram, and Raviyad. Here we go. Question number 2. You realize you don't have any cash to pay Yankel. What is your best option? You give him a post-dated check, you borrow money from a neighbor and you pay him. You tell him you will pay him tomorrow, or you pay whatever you have, even if it's not the full amount. What is your best option for paying this, your worker? Can we get some music? We have any Kahoot music? Okay. The best option is to borrow money and then to pay him. Okay, here we go. Next question. Gavi, ooh, we got a whole reshuffle. Rabbi is still holding on tight. Question number 3. Here we go. Multi-select, which means it could be more than one question. Which of the following criteria need to be met in order to biblically violate ribis? What are the criteria? Interest needs to be in the form of money. Borrower and lender agreed on the interest at the time of the loan. Interest on the loan, it's interest on the loan and not on a sale. The money is paid from the borrower to the lender or one of the lender's messengers. 10 seconds to answer. And you see it up here also. Very good. Okay, three criteria. 3 criteria to biblically violate the prohibition of ribis. And one of them is that ribis doesn't need to be in the form of money, it can be in the form of anything. Okay, we love halacha, geschmack. True or false? I can start working on it right now, pay me either $1,000 or $1,500 when I'm done. This is mutter. True or false? Doom, doom, doom. One second, that's true. This is a mistake, right? Oh, it is true. Yeah, that's true. Why is it true? That's the correct answer. Why is it true? Because you're starting to work right away, so it's not a loan. Right? It was one of the things we saw. Oh, we love halacha, loves halacha. Okay, quiz. Here we go. Multi-select. Which of these heterim are the heterim of Rav Moshe Feinstein? A neighbor getting something to receive a better item in return. Neighbor gifting something. Ribis doesn't apply if the borrower is a corporation. Ribis doesn't apply if the lender is a corporation. Organic eggs are a scam. I think there's a tshuva in Ar Chaim. You can find that one over there. Right? There are 2 famous heterim. One is that when it's the corporation, when the borrower is a corporation, and the other one is that if the neighbor gifts you, so it's not a prohibition of ribis. Okay, we're about halfway through. And we have Ariel in first place. Poll. Okay, this is, you're not right or wrong. The halachas of ribis are more complicated than I expected, less complicated than I expected, complicated maybe, but super geschmack, as complicated as I expected. What do you say? More complicated than I expected. I think that makes sense. Okay, here we go. 7 out of 10, true or false? If you have one regular egg, borrowing organic eggs from someone who only uses organic is still considered yeshlo. True or false? That is false, right? Yeshlo needs to be exactly what the guy would have, right? We saw that with the regular Coke and the We Love Allah back on top. Let's go, quiz and multi-select. Boom, which of the following is prohibited? I'll take 2 of your shifts this week if you cover one of mine next week. I'll lend you money today on condition you'll lend me money in the summer. A one-time late fee on a purchase. If you cover one of my shifts today, I'll cover 2 of your shifts the next day. Which of the following are prohibited? Where is the isser of ribis here, potentially? Doo-doo-doom. Those are the 2 correct answers, right? I'll lend you today on condition they lend me in the summer. We saw that's going to be asr. And then if you cover one of my shifts today, you'll do 2, so that's ribis. You're lending in 1 shift and you're getting paid back in double. Okay, 2 more questions left. In which of the following situations does heter iska work? Interest rate, does heter iska? Right. Interest rate is unrealistic compared to the venture. I think it should say heter iska does not work. Taking a mortgage on a property, all of the above, interest payments begin immediately. Okay, we're gonna skip that one just because I don't think we got it correct. Let's go to the next one. Last and final one. Here we go. True or false? One who borrowed money without a heter iska can always return the money and borrow it again with a heter iska. Is that true or false? You made a mistake. You borrowed it without heter iska. Could you return it or not? Okay, that is false. Why is that false? The reason why it's false is because if there's too little amount of time at the end of the loan in order to rewrite the loan with a heter iska where the interest doesn't make sense, so then it's going to be problematic. Who are our winners? Here we go. We're gonna send you gifts, cash prizes for the winners. We have Tzvi is in 3rd place. Newt, did I write that correctly? And who's number 1? We love halacha. Okay, so who's who? I don't know. How am I going to find out? Reb Simcha, you'll find them? Who's we love halacha? I can't see anything. We good? What shiur are you in? Opa, Rabbi Zav Gerber Gashreichem. Oh, we lost number 2. Who's number 2? Tzvi, right? No, sorry, Newt. Who's Newt? Newt, Reb Simcha will find you. So Newt and Tzvi, you are the winners. And B'ezrat Hashem will send you a cash prize, and Rav Simcha will write it down right now. Okay. Bruchim habeim to everyone. Yasher koach gadol for making it out. We can hit the music, I think, even though it is good background music. We didn't find Tzvi. We're going to find him. We'll find him. So before we begin tonight, I just want a few hakaras hatov. A few thank yous. Most of them are not in the room, but I think it's incumbent upon at least me and everyone here to say thank you. Number 1 is Yeshiva University. Yeah, absolutely. I called up Rabbi Berman. I think it was less than 2 weeks ago for sure. I think it was like a week and a half ago, 10 days ago, and I was like, listen, I have an idea. I want to do it maybe in Lamport. He's like, sure, speak to Rabbi Kalinsky. I call up Rabbi Kalinsky. And I tell him, listen, let's run this event. And he tells me, I'll get back to you by tomorrow. He gets back to me tomorrow and he says, yalla, let's do it. And the rest has been history. So in about a week, we tried to pull this amazing event together. And B'ezrat Hashem, it's going to be amazing. And it's a real thank you to the OU and also Rabbi Yaakov Taubis if he's here. He was mamish a big help in making it all happen. Having it in YU in general is like, it means a lot to me because this is where I grew up, and this is where a lot of the Smichas Chaver Rabbanim actually teach here, or they got smicha from here. So it's really an incredible thing. The next group that deserves a huge yasher koach is really the Orthodox Union, who from day one has mamish been standing behind Smichas Chaver, and it's really an incredible organization where the leaders, Rabbi Hauer, Mitch Ader, Rav Josh Joseph, on top of their mind, the only thing they care about is how could we help Am Yisrael, how could we be marbe Torah and Am Yisrael, and it's really an incredible thing. Also the lay leaders, Henry Orlinsky, which I met a few minutes ago, that I've been with him from the inception, and also Ezra Friedman, I think, is here also. So really, thank you to the OU. All the Lomdim have a lot of Akar Satov, and Bezrat Hashem will be able to continue do more things. B'siyata d'shmaya. Another thank you. If you ever look at the Smichas Chaver Mar Mekomos, you open up the first page, you'll see it says Le'ul Nishmas HaChaver Shlomo Michal Ben Meir Strauss, Mr. Strauss, Mr. Michael Strauss, Zechron Levracha, who was mamish a yid. He was. If you had to tight chop, first of all, he was the chaver, which maybe one day we'll give out chaver, real chavers, and he was what it means to be a minch. And I know Jeremy doesn't want to be called out in person, for sure not, but I'm going to do it anyways because I don't listen to him that often. Sometimes I do, and we just want to, on behalf of everyone, on behalf of all the Lomdim, we want to thank you for your support, your continuous support, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu should continue to shower you with bracha ad bli dai. You should only have bracha and simcha and atzlacha. And what's amazing about Jeremy is that he actually takes the tests. He's not just an observer from the outside. He comes and he takes the bechina. And I think achron chaviv, and this is every single person here, first of all me personally, but every single person who's here has tremendous hakaras hatov to the smichas chaver rabbanim. You who teach it every single week in, week out, the mysterious nefesh that they have, they don't get enough credit. They should be paid and showered with brachos ad bli dai. It's really incredible, and all of the Lomdim have tremendous hakaras hatov to every single one of you, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bless each and every single one of you with bracha and simcha and atzlacha ad bli dai. B'ezrat Hashem. So let's begin. This was all just an intro, and I think we can't really. I landed from Eretz Yisrael this morning, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow. B'ezrat Hashem. And I think we can't really begin any event. I think when Jews get together, we can't begin any event without thinking about Achenu Beis Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael. And I thought that's why tonight we should dedicate all the learning and all the chizuk and all that's going to happen here Le'il Nishmas Eliyahu Moshe Zimbalist, who was a soldier that fell, whose father actually helped start Smichas Chaver in one of the locations. And I asked him if he can come, but tonight's his daughter's wedding. And you'll see, we have a short video from him where you'll be able to see, he'll give you a little message. So let's look at the screen, and B'ezrat Hashem will be able to see the video, the message that he has for all of us. So we can hit that.
Hi, my name is Simi Zimbalist from the Smichas Chaver program in Yeshiva, Israel. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you this evening. I wish I could be with you in person. However, as Rosh Hashem tonight, I'm going to be marrying off my daughter in Israel. I wanted to give you a bit of background about our son, Eliyahu Moshe, Hashem Yikom Damo, our Gibor. He was born in Silver Spring, Maryland, and at 2 years old, he made Aliyah along with the rest of our family 19 years ago. He went to Yeshiva Tel Aviv Hesder program and joined in Elul of 2001, and he joined along with his yeshiva to the Handasat Karbi, the engineering corps. The engineering corps played a critical role in the war in Gaza. They destroyed the terrorist infrastructure, tunnels, bridges. He knew this was part of Muhammad's mitzvah, and we were very proud of him. On Shabbos Parshas Naso, we got a knock at the door informing us of the devastating news that Eli Moshe, along with his close friends, were killed in Rafael defending our country. This was the most devastating and difficult day of our lives for our family and our friends. I was in Eli Moshe's room learning with his brother Abraham Mishnayot, and I noticed a notebook on his shelf. In the notebook, a list of 10 life goals that are showing Eli Moshe's Hashkafat Chaim. I wanted to share with you 3 of those life goals. 1, Lazot B'Sukai Zachaver. Eli Moshe was very good at building. He liked to build decks and pergolas. He did electrical and plumbing work. Eli Moshe was blessed with a golden hand and a golden heart. He constantly took notice of people. Secondly, Eli Moshe's motto was, don't wait to be asked, always help. Some people might say, oh, you're a friar, you're not willing to take money. But no, his true repayment was seeing other people's happiness. The third and most relevant item on the list of this crowd this evening was L'mod Masher Kavua Kol Yom. Eli Moshe, from a very young age, absorbed and loved learning When he was a teenager, he started to learn Daf Yomi on a daily basis. He learned Shlamik Targum with Rashi, and even when he was in Haza, he brought his Gemara with him and kept it in his bag. I helped bring the Smichas Talber program to Beit Shemesh to Rabbi Shalom Ralder's community. We currently have one of the largest shiurim with over 70 men attending on a weekly basis. I had the opportunity to share and discuss many of the halachic questions with Eli Moshe over the years. I wanted to share with you some of the halachic questions that Eli Moshe shared with me that really demonstrate his tremendous Yiras Shamayim. Can one schedule a doctor's appointment on Sunday that will require him to be transported from Aza to the base on Shabbos? Or can he eat from food that was brought to him in the Shetach on Shabbos? Can he enter a Beit Knesset to cool off when it's 100 degrees outside and there's no other air-conditioned places? He had answers to all these questions and was able to fulfill these mitzvahs. We can take what we learned in the Smichas Talber program into our daily lives, just as Eli Moshe took what he learned into his life while he was under much more difficult and challenging situations. My bracha to you is that Hashem should give you clarity in your avodas Hashem, and we should be zocha to have a gula shalema b'karov.
What's so amazing about Am Yisrael, the nation that we're all part of, is that you'll meet, he's not the only one, these parents that lost everything, they always find a way to move forward and to inspire us. Every time I meet a parent or a family member of someone who lost a relative, it's incredible to see the ruach of Am Yisrael, and Kadosh Baruch Hu should give our nation a lot of koach. So we'll say just the parak of Tehillim, and then maybe we'll sing Achinu, and then we'll get rolling. So we'll say Tehillim Kuf Lamed. Okay, if you can just, we'll say one after the other for Achinu Beis Yisrael. Shir Amalais Mimamakim Kurasicha Adonai Adonai Shima Bekoili Tiana Iznecha Kashuvois Lekol Tachanunai Ima Vinais Tishmoria Adonai Miamod Kim Chaslicha Leman Tivorei Kivisi Adonai Kivsa Nafshi V'lidvaraya Ichalti נפשי לאדוני משומרים לבוקר שומרים לבוקר יחל ישראל אל אדוני כי מאדוני החסד והרבה מויפדוס והוא יפדס ישראל מכל עוונותיו. We can close our eyes and sing Achenu. Achenu kol beis Yisrael Achenu kol beis Yisrael Israel, Kol Beis Yisrael, Anisuni Matzah Vashivya, Amim Shekor Gadol. I don't think the Yidden in Chutz La'aretz appreciate how much the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael appreciate you. So, Shekor Gadol. So what's the goal of tonight? What are we doing here? What's this night of Chizuk? What is this exactly? This night of Chizuk? What should we feel when we get out of here? So there's a fascinating Gemara that I think the majority of you know. I think the majority of you know most of it, but maybe not all of it. Okay, so we can make this as interactive as possible, so you can shout out the questions whenever you want. So the Gemara in Bracha says like this: if a person is standing anywhere in the world, where does he need to daven towards? Eretz Yisrael, not necessarily east, right? Because if you're in the west of Eretz Yisraal, so then you, right? So where are you going to go? Daven to Hershel. If you're in Eretz Yisrael, where do you daven towards? Yerushalayim. If you're in Yerushalayim, where do you daven towards? The Beis HaMikdash, right? If you're in the Beis HaMikdash, where do you daven towards? Kodesh HaKodashim, very good. If you're in the Kodesh HaKodashim, which was the Kohen, once a year, where do you daven towards? See? So what is the Gemara? I'll read it. The Gemara says, Haya omed bebet kodshei HaKodashim, yechaven libo keneged bet HaKaporet. You have, your kavana is in between the two kruvim. That's where all the tefillas of Am Yisrael, so all of Am Yisrael davens, from Chutz La'aretz, from Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim, in HaRav Shlomo, it all goes to this tiny area that's in between the kruvim. Now, what's in the kruvim? So, if you actually listen, the Torah tells us that in between the kruvim, there's a voice that is heard from in between the kruvim. It says in last week's parsha, "V'no'adeti lecha shama, v'dibarti itcha me'al hakaporet." So, when we all dive into this one exact tiny little place, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to us also exactly from one little place. And if we're attuned enough, if we're able to actually lean in, we'll be able to hear what that voice is. And the question I want to ask you tonight is, what is that voice? What is that voice actually telling us? What is the voice that we're meant to hear tonight? If we actually listen carefully, what is the voice that's coming out of Bein HaKruvim? So the Baalei Machshava say an amazing idea. What were the Kruvim? So according to Rashi, in last week's parsha, the Kruvim were Pnei Tinok. They were a child, were the faces of a child. And the Mefarshim explain that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is speaking to us between the faces of the Kruvim, V'no'ati lecha shama, right? Between the two faces of these babies, to remind us every single day, 3 times a day, that you're a baby. Every single one of us is a baby. We're all babies. What's so unique about a baby? What's unique about a baby is that a baby has endless potential. When a baby is born, everyone's happy. Why? Because he can be anything. He could become anything. He will go above and beyond all of our expectations. So the baby, and where's the baby specifically? Where are the kruvim on? They're on the Aron Bris Hashem, where in the Aron is what? Is the luchos, and the shivrei luchos. So the Baalei Machshava explained that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to us between the kruvim to remind us every single day, you are a baby. You think you learned enough? You think you did so much? You think you accomplished? There's so much more you can do. Remember, you're just a baby. There's so much more that you can accomplish, and there's so much more that you could become. And that's the message. That's what we need to hear every single day. When we daven 3 times a day and we hear the voice that's coming out from the Bein HaKruvim, what is it? You're a baby. We're all babies, right? Who here would have thought that they would know Hilchos Ribis? Who here would have thought that they would know all these different halachas, BNPLs, right? Heter Iskas, early bird specials, all these wild halachas. I never thought I would learn it, right? But what does Smichas Chaver tell us? To listen to the inner baby that's inside of you. You're still a baby, and there's so much more to learn, and there's so much more to accomplish, and there's so much more that you could become. Now, this is not just a nice drush, it's actually halacha. If David HaMelech was here, Rabbi Kiva Eger, the Shulchan Aruch, the Mishnah Berurah, and someone, chas v'shalom, would give them a gun and point it to your head, and they would tell Rabbi Kiva Eger and the Mishnah Berurah, whoever it is, and say, kill you, chas v'shalom, or you'll be killed. What's the halacha? Rabbi Kiva Eger, David HaMelech, whoever it is, they need to be killed. Why? Because we don't know your potential, right? Past performance is not an indication of future events when it comes to Yiddishkeit, when it comes to your neshama, when it comes to who you actually are. So the message of Smichas Chaver, I think, one of the messages is that you can learn so much and you can become so much and you can really make a kinyan on Limud HaTorah. And Bezrat Hashem, we will. That's the goal of tonight, and that's the goal of Smichas Chaver in general. So tonight, we're going to hear from Gdolei Yisrael. We'll have Rav Schachter and Rav Amar. We'll just looking at them, we'll be inspired and remember, look, we can grow, we can become to the best of our ability, we can maximize our potential to the best of our ability. So that's the message of Smichas Chaver, and that's what when we dive in towards the Kruvim, that really what we should be listening to. So my message to you tonight is that we're all babies, and we should embrace our babiness and remember that there's so much more to grow. Now, one of the biggest babies here is Rabbi Glasser. Now, if I was Donald Trump, they would take that, snip it, and then they would, publish it everywhere. But, Baruch Hashem, I'm not. Shelo asani gai. And Rabbi Glasser, what's mamish incredible working with him, he's in the OU. He's always thinking, how we can improve more? What could we grow? How could we become better, the better versions of who we are? So it's a big schos to call up Rabbi Glasser, who every day I'm learning from him, and every day we can really improve and grow up.
Birshus, thank you so much, Rav Eliada, for that amazing introduction and comment about my height. Birshus Rav Schachter, Birshus HaRav Amar, Rav Goldwicht, Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbeim, Smichas Chaver Talmidim, who are also our Rabbeim, family and friends. It is an honor to stand here tonight as both a representative of the Orthodox Union, which proudly supports the extraordinary learning and the unparalleled impact of Smichas Chaver, as well as a member of those who have the great privilege, the great schus, to bring this world of Torah to a chevra for us in Passaic, New Jersey. Rav Eliada's vision and efforts have elevated our community's understanding, observance, and passion for halacha in unprecedented ways. And at this point, one can rarely find a Jewish community in America and beyond that does not host a Smichas Chaver Shir. Sitting together with our own chevra in Passaic, we are regularly joined by guests from out of town traveling through, by young men back from Yeshiva Bein Hazmanim who want to experience the shir that has truly transformed their father's relationship with halacha, and of course the curious bystander who overheard a kula being shared in the shir room, unaware that the footnotes were to come that would take care of that very quickly. Tonight's gathering reveals so much about the underlying energy that animates this Smichas Chaver program. The Rabbeim, the Talmidim, the families, and of course, Moreinu v'Rabbeinu, the Gedolei Yisrael. And of course, your mamish lowering it. And of course, right after the Gedolei Yisrael, there is Phil, the note taker. God bless that man wherever he is. The study of halacha from Makoros to halacha lamaisa has expanded the depth and appreciation that we have for the godless of our poskim, as we strive to grasp the nuanced applications of timeless principles and precedents to modern day shilas. To simply be in the room with these Gedolei Yisrael, with these poskim, is a schus that we appreciate so much more now than we used to before. And I think I speak for everyone when I share that when we first heard the plan to learn Hilchas Ribbis, our reaction was, this seems a little overly ambitious, even for a Goldwicht. But step by step, as virtually all of our financial endeavors have been assered, as our friendships and extensions of favors are no longer permitted, as our carpools have been eliminated and we can no longer lend money to our children, our expressions for gratitude for loans are no longer acceptable, we can't purchase anything on sale for cash, we have come to realize that with a heter iska, we can indeed accomplish anything in Torah. We have come to recognize that all areas of Torah, no matter how intimidating and complex, with commitment and with amelus, can become the morasha of each and every one of us. Parshas Tetzaveh opens, V'ata Tetzaveh es b'nei Yisrael. And the Torah is replete with directives to Moshe to instruct the Jewish people in comporting with the expectations of the Ribbono Shalom, usually by Yedaber Hashem el Moshe Lemor. And here we have the formulation, Ve'ata Tetzaveh, and you, in second person, should command. The Mishkan Hashem was a moment of fundamental transformation in Yahadus, a transition from being entirely personal to emerging as profoundly institutional. Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the Shvatim, all brought unique and personal dimensions to the evolution of Klal Yisrael. Chesed, Gevura, Emes, Shachris, Mincha, Ma'ariv, Kabbalah, Satorah, and now the Mishkan introduce a framework of formality. The Mishkan, like the Beis HaKnesses, is not just a personal bama in our basement to worship as we see fit, as it is a space with rules and with regulations, opportunities and expectations, where the expression of our inner reach to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu manifests in the context of prescribed and choreographed rituals, layering an eternal and lasting sense of meaning to these moments of Dveikus B'Hashem, channels and pathways that the Ribbono Shel Olam himself revealed to facilitate and accelerate our connection with his essence. And the challenge of these spaces is that sometimes the Mishkan dynamic can suppress the very central and critical role of summoning our individuality into the world of Avodas Hashem. Too much focus on the institutional begins to eclipse the incredibly valuable energy that is infused when people don't just attend the Mishkan or Shul or Shiurim, but truly bring themselves into the orbit of its elevation and inspiration. So Hashem says to Moshe, Ve'ata tetzaveh. Yes, this is a world of tzivui, but it also must possess a ve'ata. We not only engage the world of the Mishkan, the world of halacha, as a space of objective rules and regulations, we infuse a va'ata into our tetzaveh. We place the totality of ourselves within the world of our deference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Smichas Chaver empowers each and every one of us to do this. It opens up the world of halacha from being somewhat distant, on a shelf and in the domain of the elite, to being accessible, relatable, comprehensible to the Hamon Am. It has enabled each and every one of us to discover our ve'ata in our tetzaveh. Poskim, Rav Eliada, Rav Simcha, Rav Ozrowski, we are all in your debt, which means we cannot thank you at all. But at the end, we know that this is really a partnership. And so together, all of us will be marviach from the great iska that is Smichas Chaver. Have a wonderful night.
Rabbi Glasser is the best. One of the most amazing things about Smichas Chaver is the vast difference between different chaburas. There's one chabura in Eretz Yisrael. It's like a more Haredi chabura where one of the members is in charge of Banka Poalim, like he's very high up in Banka Poalim, and he's learning Hilchos Ribis, and he's like, oh my goodness, I don't think our Heter Iska is as good as the Smichas Chaver notes. So he basically went back and he got like a few dayanim, and they redid, or they improved, I would say, the Heter Iska of Banka Poalim, which is amazing. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And this was from like a Haredi Chabura. At the same time, there are also a lot of soldiers that are part of Smichas Chaver, and I wanted just to get a little glimpse of the Chayalim of Smichas Chaver.
Simchas Torah, my family and I were actually in Canada, and then all of a sudden we got a loud bang on the door from our neighbor who broke the tragic news to us, said, the situation's almost out of control in Israel. And I was getting all sorts of messages from other units saying that we're in desperate need of soldiers.
שמחת תורה הייתי בבית, באזור 8, משהו כזה, אני זוכר. היו אזעקות, התחילו אזעקות, זה היה קצת מוזר, אני ידעתי שאני ישר הולך לבסיס.
My family and I, we were in Kiryat Moshe by my brother-in-law, and all of a sudden I was on the way and the siren went off.
ביום שני לוויה אחד, יום שלישי עוד כמה לוויות. המסות של הלוויות היה ביום רביעי, חמישי, שאני לבד קברתי 8 חללים, לבד.
go into Gaza, start out in Sajia, and then did a whole, about pretty much 3.5 months in that whole area.
The main job was to keep the people in the Yeshuvim safe and also to give them a sense of security. But I was away from my wife and my 3 kids this whole time.
My daughter, and on Shabbos, she's like, oh, Daddy's not here for Shabbos, who's gonna make Kiddush? And then she's like, oh, I remember one time Daddy showed me in the comics that the ladies could also make Kiddush. Even though you would think it's just a comic, what they're gonna do, and look at that. How long ago Shabbos we learned, and Kiddush was a long time ago, so pretty cool thing.
ביום שהיה לי איתו 8 לוויות, פשוט הייתי עסוק בלוויות, אחד אחרי השני, הזכרתי במשנה באותו יום, כל האלה שעוסקים בעניין של המיטה פטורים מתפילה, וממש התקיימתי את זה למעשה.
Smichas Chaver played a very big part in my Miluim service for 2 reasons. My first reason is that one, it gave me something kavua, it gave me a mechuyavut to learn something. I knew that I always had to keep up to date with the Smichas Chaver notes and the Smichas Chaver shurim. And the other aspect is Smichas Chaver kind of trains you to look out for shilas in your day-to-day life.
You see on the day-to-day what halacha does come into your life. So I called Shlomo, I was like, Shlomo, get me an MP3 player. Put on a bunch of shiurim so I can have here. Because even if you do, you don't have downtime, but you do have downtime. You're going to sleep. Sometimes you're just hearing banging and loud noises. You just need something to keep you, in the zone.
כמובן שהשיעורים נתנו לי ונותנים לי היום גם את העניין של הלימוד. השיעורים בסמיכת חבר נתנו לי הרבה כלים להתמודד וללמוד את זה הלכה למעשה לצערנו.
Smichas Chaver trained me to be thinking all the time and through a halachic lens.
I think the SCP program is, for me at least, it's changed a lot. It's got me more involved, it's got my wife more involved, my kids more involved. That really has kairut that come and can change your day-to-day.
After a video like that, appreciate what the soldiers do for us. If we could all stand up just for this Misha Berach and put your hand on your heart to thank our soldiers for everything they do. Eretz Yisrael, the whole Am Yisrael. שברח אבותינו הקדושים הוא יברך חיילי ישראל חיילי ישראל משברח אבותינו הקדושים הוא יברך חיילי ישראל חיילי ישראל השם ישמור ויציל אתכם השם ישמור ויציל אתכם את חיילינו to the greatest soldiers in the world. We pray Hashem yishmor v'yatzil kol tzara v'tzukah. ישברך אבותינו הקדושים יברך חיילי ישראל חיילי ישראל הקדושים ישברך אבותינו הקדושים יברך חיילי ישראל חיילי ישראל הוא השם ישמור ויציל אתכם השם ישמור ויציל אתכם את חיילינו השם ישמור ויציל אתכם השם ישמור ויציל את חיילינו Thank you so much. תודה רבה. Let's welcome the rabbis. 1, 2, 3, hey! כבוד התורה. ימים ימי מלך שלא אדם כמו דבדה ימים ימי מלך תוסים שלא אדם כמו דבדה ימים ימי מלך תוסים שלא אדם כמו דבדה ימי מלך תויזים שנויזם כמוי דמדו יומי ימי מלך תויזים שנויזם כמוי דמדו תנו כבוד לתורה יומי ימי מלך תויזים שנויזם כמוי דמדו חיים של שלום, חיים של שלום, יום בוסי נפולה, חיים של שלום, חיים של שלום, יום בוסי נפולה, כי ידך ימים, ושנו את חיים, ושבלם. يا وين سيدي بلوك يا يدخ يومي يبغى وشنو غادي غادي بشاولا يا وسي لو
Bershus the Rosh Yeshiva Shlita, and Bershut Rishon LeZion, HaRav Amar Shlita, Ashreinu shezachinu, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגענו לזמן הזה, להתקרב גדולי ישראל. It's really an incredible schos. And the format, מה שנעשה, נשמע קצת דברי ברכה from Rav Schachter, קצת דברי ברכה מהראשון לציון הרב אמר, ואז יהיה שאלות ותשובות על ההלכות שהבעל הבתים למדו. We're going to have questions and answers after we have a few divrei bracha. So it's with great honor and pleasure that I call Agon Rav Schachter Shlita to a few divrei bracha.
Good evening, everyone. Shalom Aleichem. When I was a Talmud in the high school here in the Yeshiva, I've been here since my bar mitzvah. That was a long time ago. Most of my rabbeim were Europeans, or learned in European yeshivas. So they always had the attitude you have to learn Torah Lishma, not halacha l'maisa. If you learn halacha l'maisa, it means you want to become a rabbi. Somehow they had the attitude that that's not called Torah Lishma. So when the Rebbe would give a shir, there's a machlokes, Rashi and Taisus, machlokes the Rambam and Taisus, whatever. So the students would ask, what's the psak halacha? So the Rebbe would make fun of them while they were asking, say, roof up the Agudas HaRabbanim. That's not the job of the Rebbe to say what the halacha l'maisa is. This was an attitude that they had. This is against the Gemara. The Gemara says in more than one place, when you learn Lasuk Hishmaitza, Lib the Hilchse, that's considered the highest level of learning. Then the European Rabbeim that I had, who learned in European yeshivas, so they had this attitude that the Balabatim don't know how to learn. So they told over the story that two elderly gentlemen, two Balabatim, decided they're going to learn B'chavrusa together, but they were both hard of hearing. So one thought that they made up they're going to learn Erevin, the other one thought they made up they're going to learn Erechin. Erechin ends on Daf Lamed Daled, and Erevin goes to Daf Kuf Hey. So they were learning B'chavrusa every day. Everything was wonderful. They learned Daf Beis, Daf Gimel, everything was fine. They didn't realize that there was a problem till one of them made a siyum, and the other one had another 70 blot to go. So that's why they used to make fun of the way Balabatim learn. But the Balabatim in our generation learn very beautifully. They learn, you could even say, better than the Rabbanim. The Gemara in Nedarim has a comment that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu, he gave it to Moshe V'Zara. Moshe Rabbeinu had the right to keep it only for his descendants. But the Rabban Shalom, Moshe Rabbeinu was instructed to teach the Torah to the whole Klal Yisrael. The Gemara says to teach them psak halacha l'maisa, bottom line. But pilpulo shel Torah, how to figure out how to arrive at the din, how to paskan nashayla, that originally, the original plan was that's only going to be for Moshe Rabbeinu, and he can keep that for his descendants. Moshe Rabbeinu was a tovayin, so he shared it with all of Klal Yisrael. So in a certain sense, it's like you eat the main course, the meat and the potatoes, then you have dessert at the end. That's pilpulo shel Torah. Originally, we were not going to get pilpulo shel Torah. That was only going to be for Moshe V'Zara. But Moshe Rabbeinu was noig tavayin. So we in the yeshivas, all the time, we're eating dessert and dessert, another piece of cake, another serving of ice cream. We're not learning the meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes is the psak halacha l'maisa. That's what you people are learning. The Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that during the lifetime of Chizkiyahu HaMelech, Bodku Midon Ba'ad Be'er Sheva, they didn't find a man or a woman, a child or a boy, a little girl, who didn't know all the laws of Tumah V'Tara. Chizkiyahu HaMelech forced everyone to learn halacha. So the Netziv is bothered with a kasha. What right does the government have to force everybody to learn? People want to make a parnasa. They want to get rich. Why do you force them to? Not everybody wants to learn. So he says Chizkiyahu HaMelech had the right to force them because the Gemara says, he collects all the Gemaras on this topic. So the Gemara Makkas explains, when Chalila v'Chalila, Klal Yisrael has to go to Milchama, so they have Hatzlach because of the Shara Yerushalayim where they're learning Torah. So Chizkiyahu HaMelech forced everyone to learn for security purposes. If there's an issue of Milchama, there's an issue of security, you can force the people to do whatever is necessary. So that's why it was important. You people learning, you Balabatim who are learning, you're learning the meat and potatoes of the Torah. You're learning the main thing of the Torah. And in your schus, whatever Hatzlacha Tzal had was in your schus and the schus of the Lomdei Torah. Yashikachachim to all of you. You should continue for many years to come to learn. Lasukishmaitza liebe de hilchsa. We should all be zeichet to be mekabel pnei Mashiach Tzidken.
יישר כוח גדול, כבוד הרב. יש לנו את הזכות הנדירה שהרב הראשון לציון באמריקה רק לכמה ימים, he's only here for a few days, a week בערך, and one of the nights, אחד הלילות, הרב זכה להיות עם הלומדים, וזו זכות גדולה בשבילנו, ואנחנו, כל הלומדים, כאן וברחבי העולם, מאוד מעריכים לרב, וגם נשמח לכמה דברי ברכה.
ערב טוב, ברוכים הבאים לכנס של תורה ברשות כבוד הגאון ראש הישיבה שליטה, כבוד הרב גולדוויכט, שהוא מרכז ויוצר את כל הפעולה הגדולה הזאת להגדיל תורה ולהאדירה, וברשות הקהל הקדוש. הגמרא במסכת מגילה אומרת, אסתר מן התורה מנהלה, שנאמר, ואנוכי אסתר פניי מהם בעת ההיא. אסתר מן התורה מנהלה, אסתר במגילה, למה אסתר צריכה להיות בתורה? מי חיתיתי שאסתר תהיה בתורה? פירשתי שהכוונה היא לא על אסתר, אסתר היא במגילה, אלא על הנהגת השם שהנהיג את עולמו בזמן של אסתר. הנהגה שונה מהנהגה שהייתה תמיד. השם היה עושה ניסים גלויים וברורים לכל העולם. בזמן אסתר היה נס גדול, גדול מאוד, אבל היה נסתר מאוד. בדרך הטבע, זה 9 שנים מהמסיבה שעשה משתה, שעשה אחשוורוש, ועד סוף המגילה. וכל שנה או שנתיים קרה משהו. אנשים שהיו חיים אז לא ראו את הקשר בין דבר לדבר. לא הבינו שזה כל דבר מסודר ומתוקן מאת השם, בורא העולם ומנהיגו. ולא הרגישו את הנס, לא הבינו איך הנס נעשה. זה הסתרת פנים, על זה הגמרא שואלת. אסתר מן התורה, הסתר הזה, ההסתרה הזו, זה הנהגת השם, זה צריך להיות כתוב בתורה. זה לא על אסתר. הנהגת השם, כל הנהגותיו של השם חייבים להיות כתובים בתורה. אומרת הגמרא, כן, כתוב ואנוכי אסתר פניי, מהם יבוא זמן שהיא הסתרת פנים. אז מה זה מגילת אסתר? לפי זה חשבתי מגילת אסתר, על ידי שאסתר כתבה את המגילה ברוח הקודש, וקוראים אותה בזמן קצר, ורואים את הקשר בין דבר לדבר, מתגלה ההסתר. מגילת אסתר מגלה את הסתר שבניסים ובנפלאות. וזה בזכרם לא ימוש מזעם. זו הדרך מאז ועד ימינו. גם מה שעבר על עם ישראל, בארץ ישראל בפרט, בימים הקשים הללו, אנשים ראו את הסבל, אבל לא ראו את הניסים הגלויים. גילוי שכינה היה כבר מההתחלה, מהרגע הראשון. הייתה התגלות גדולה, אבל צריך התבוננות. לגלות את ההסתר הזה. אם היה זמן, היה אפשר לדבר, אנחנו ממעטים בדיבור גלוי בזה שלא להוציא שם רע על אחרים חס ושלום ולא לקטרג, אבל יש גילוי אשר הפלא השם בין כל אחד ואחד. הייתה השגחה פרטית על כל יהודי, על כל מקרה, על כל ילד, על כל איש, על כל אישה, בצורה מיוחדת. ואנחנו מתפללים לשם בזכות התורה שמתרחבת על ידכם, על ידי הפעולה הגדולה הזאת של סמיכת חבר, שהיא חובקת זרועות עולם בארץ וברחבי הגולה. בזכות ההתרחבות הזאת קיימו וקיבלו היהודים, נזכה כמו שראינו את ההסתר ואת מה שטמון בתוך ההסתר, נראה את הגלוי, נראה את השלמת גאולתנו בביאת משיחנו, בעניין מקדשנו, בשובה בנחת, במהרה בימינו, אמן.
So we're going to ask now questions to the Rosh Yeshiva Rishon LeZion Nishal Kama Shelot. V'zeh Shelot, these are questions that are from Smichas Chaver participants on the sugyas that we're learning. Shelot al sugyot shelamadnu mi'a lomdim shel Smichat Chaver. אז נתחיל we'll start in English. Usually the right? So there's
הרב אליעדה.
כן.
ראש ישיבה הוא מרא דאתרא.
כן.
מרא דאתרא.
הנה, we have if someone is working, there's a chiyuv deraisa to pay your workers on time. But and the chiyuv doesn't apply if the worker doesn't ask for his money, if he doesn't ask for the compensation. So if someone is working remotely and he sends in the work, there's a tax lawyer who says he sends you an email, I sent in the work. Is that considered as if he paid, as if he is asking for the request, or someone works remotely, you don't know exactly when he's finished? How does one be mekayim the mitzvah biyom otitan scharo if you're not sure exactly when they're finished?
What do you mean he sent in? What do you mean that he sent in the work?
So let's assume someone's a tax lawyer or an accountant, and he says, I filed in all your papers to the IRS. You're good for this ona.
And he mailed into the IRS.
He mailed it into the IRS.
He didn't. Yeah. If he would send it in to me, maybe that would be an implicit request that he wants to be paid. But he sent it into the IRS. That's nice of him. But I don't think that's called requesting the payment.
And if it was some other job, he was the person's away, and he finished fixing a light bulb or something in the individual's house, and he sends him an email. He said, I finished working.
He tells me that he finished. It could be that that's an implicit request.
And then there would be could be about telling.
I think the Minig Amdina in America, it says in the Gemara, in the Shulchan Aruch, that if the poil agrees in advance, that he doesn't necessarily expect to be paid the same day. You can pay him a week later. So then if he's mevater, there's no din of l'salim pelo socher. My impression is that most of the time in America, it's numder de muchach that they don't expect at all to be paid on the same day. That's not the Minig Amdina. So I would think that it's usually...
Anyways, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I would think usually the din doesn't apply.
Fascinating. We didn't learn that in the notes, but that's why we have the Rosh Yeshiva shlita. לגבי החיוב של ביומות ייתן שכרו, אז...
חיוב של?
ביומות ייתן שכרו. חיוב לשלם לפועלים בזמן. אז לפעמים יש שיפוצניק, שאני... שיפוצניק means... how do you say שיפוצניק in English? A handyman. שמשפץ, נגיד, את החלק מהבית. ואני מסכים לשלם לו כשהוא גומר את השיפוץ. אבל הוא חושב שהוא גמר, ואני חושב שעוד לא גמר. Right? I think he's finished, meaning he thinks he's done, and I think there's still a little bit more to do. מה עושים בסיטואציה כזאת לגבי החיוב לשלם בזמן או לא לשלם בזמן?
היום זה תלוי במנהג מדינה, או בהסכמה המפורשת שעשו ביניהם בעל הבית ובעל המלאכה. אם קבעו ביניהם שבגמר מלאכה ישלם, אז ודאי יכולים לחכות עד גמר מלאכה, כי זה התנאי. כל דבר שבממון תנאו קיים, אפילו נגד התורה. התורה אמרה ביומו תיתן שכרו, אבל היות הוא עובד בקבלנות, ומשלמים לו על כל המלאכה בפעם אחת, אז בגמר מלאכה. עכשיו, כבודו אומר, מה הדין אם יש מחלוקת? בעל הבית אומר, עוד לא גמר. והוא אומר, כן גמר. נכון? ככה השאלה. אני חושב, היות ויש ויכוח, אז כדאי שמיד יקשו לרב שהוא פוסק הלכה או בורר ביניהם. ואם יראה הרב שהדברים עומדים להתארך הרבה זמן, כדאי שיאמר לפחות חלק שזה ברור שאין בו מחלוקת, תשלם מיד. ואילו השאר, עד שיתברר הדבר, אז מי צודק? סוף סוף יש לזה תביעה ויש לזה תביעה. צריך שמוע בין אחיכם ושפטתם צדק. ואז ישלם לו את שכרו כמגיע לו. אחרי שנפסק, אסור לו להלין את השכר. לא תלין, צריך מיד לתת.
יש תנא דמסייע, המשנה ברורה כותב שכל שקל זה מצווה. אז אם מישהו משלם, יש חיוב של 100 שקל והוא משלם 50, הוא קיבל 50 מצוות של ביום תיתן
זה
שכרו.
מחלוקת בגמרא, אם ישנה לסחירות מתחילה ועד סוף. בשביל זה אמרתי, אם יש תנאי שעובדים בקבלנות זה דין אחר. פה אין דין שכל שעה, רק מה? אם נוצר ויכוח, אז הוא לא חייב לחכות עד... לפעמים הדין תורה לוקח זמן. צריך לברר, צריך לשמוע, צריך להביא עדים. אז בינתיים יאמרו לו, תראה, הוא טוען שאתה חייב לו כך וכך, אתה אומר לו גמר, אז בוא נוריד את החלק של הספק, נשאיר אותו בצד. אבל החלק הברור, תשלם מיד.
Is there a chiyuv of biyom titen scharo on a corporation? So let's say there's a plumber, but he works for a bigger company. And then at the end of the day, he says, okay, you owe me, he runs the payment at the end of all the criteria, but the money doesn't go directly to him right away. First I pay the corporation, and then at the end of the month, they pay him. Is there a chiyuv or an isser? Does one violate the prohibition of biyom titen scharo if the poel runs it, but it really goes to the corporation?
I would not think so. I would think it says in the Chumash, Ki elov hu naseas nafsho. If I give the money, if I make out the check to the poel, so that's what he's waiting for. He needs the money in order to buy food. But I make out the check to the corporation. Corporation is going to pay him a check. He's not going to use the money that I give him. He has to hand it into the office. I would think that not. I would think it's only if the poel is the one who's getting the money from me, then it's a din. I love when I say nafshad. That's what he needs the money for. He wants to buy food today. But over here,
And if the individual made his business into a corporation, like a doctor, so he's the one who gets it, but his corporation, he has like the money, the check isn't made out to him personally. It's made out to his practice. Would that be a difference?
if what? That is,
If you're making out the check to you have a doctor, he has a business, and you're making out the check to his business. Meaning, but it's him, he's the balabas, he's the CEO. Would that make a difference or no?
oh, they don't have a few people.
Right, let's assume it's just him, but the way he made it was into a corporation. Would that be, it wouldn't make a difference. Then it would be
a din of biyom titen schara. But as I said before, my impression is that in America, most of the time it's like an umdar and a muchach, that they don't expect to be paid right away.
So then anyways.
I think so.
יש גמחים בארץ ישראל, גמח של הלוואות. There are a lot of גמחים that give out loans.
גמח של?
הלוואות. גמחים של הלוואות, שחלק מהתשלום של הגמח צריך, נגיד אני לוקח הלוואה של 10,000 שקל, והם אומרים לי, אני צריך להחזיר את 10,000 שקל, ועוד קצת כסף בתור תרומה לגמח. למה? כי יש גמחים של הלוואות שאנשים לא משלמים בחזרה, בגלל שהם לא משלמים בזמן. אז האם דבר כזה נחשב כריבית, או זה באמת הלוואה? או זה באמת תרומה?
לחייב ודאי לא טוב. זה חשש של ריבית. לחייב אותו, אפילו אמרו במילים, לומר לו תודה רבה, הלווה, למלווה אסור, משום חשש ריבית. קל וחומר, לחייב אותו לתת תרומה, זה ודאי אסור. אבל אם לא מחייבים, רק אומרים, תראה, אנחנו מלווים, ברוך השם זה מקל על הרבה, אבל יש מיעוט של אנשים שלא משלמים, והקרן עלול להתמעט עד שלא יישאר ולא נוכל לעשות. מי שנדבו ליבו, כמו שאמרנו, אשר ידבנו ליבו, אם הוא נותן בנדיבות, וגם לא כדאי בשעה שהוא פורע את החוב. ייתן אחר כך, או לפני כן, בנדבת ליבו, בלי לחייב ובלי להקציב כמה לתת. אחרת זה חשש. והטוב יותר משניהם, שאת הכסף הזה יעשו מאנשים אחרים. הרי הגמח בנוי לא על כספו הפרטי שבעל הגמח, אלא על נדבת ליבם של הציבור. במקום לפנות לזה לתת לו הלוואה. לא לערב איש על דגלו ואיש על מחנהו. זה דגלו להלוות, ישלם הלוואתו. את הכסף לגמח יעשו ממקום אחר, זה הכי טוב. אפילו בנדבה יותר טוב להתרחק.
A lot of times there's a lot of parents here in the room, and a lot of times they'll send the child on an errand, or even married parents, parents who have married children at home, and they'll ask their children to buy something. And then when the child comes back, so the parent will pay more than just what it was. Someone went to the store and it cost $199, and the father says, here's $300. Is there any way to get around that with Hilchos Ribis? With the problem of, do we view it as a loan? When the son goes and he takes out his own money, he goes to the store and he buys something for the parent. The son is going to Eretz Yisrael, and the father says, do you mind coming back and buying me a talis? Sure. He buys the talis, he pays with his own money, and how much was the talis? It was 100 shekel. 100 shekel, here's $100. Would that be a problem of Ribis?
My impression is that the Gemara says, Klola de Rebisa, Kol Aganeta Leyoser. It has to be an element of Schar Hamtanas Hamois. I'm paying extra because I didn't pay on time. But here, the parents are paying on time. I give him the talis and he gives me right away more than I laid out for him. The parents always give matanas to their children, even after they're married. So I don't think there's any element of schar hamtanas hamoas here.
Even though the son laid out the money, he was in Eretz Yisrael for 3 weeks, and he laid out the money at the beginning of the week, the beginning of week 1, and then he only gives it to him.
Even if it wouldn't have been in Eretz Yisrael, if it would have been next door,
right?
And the son would bring it, the father would also give him extra. The parents like their children; they give extra, they give matanas. It looks cheap, as if you're only going to give less. I don't think there's an element of schar hamtanas hamoas. I remember I once went to the barber shop, and after I got my haircut, I realized I didn't have any money in my pockets. So I apologized to the barber. I always go to the same barber, so he knows I'm good for the money. So I said, I'll be back in a few minutes. I went to the bank across the street, and I came back, and I gave him an extra $1 for a tip. I always give whatever, $2 for a tip. I gave him $3 because of hamtanas hamoas, because he had to wait another 3 minutes. But by the parents giving, I don't think there's any element at all of hamtanas hamoas. They like their children, so they give them matana, give them a little extra.
חלק מהיתר עסקה זה שהלווה, אם הוא לא משלם, אז הוא צריך להישבע בשבועה חמורה וכדומה, ולכן זה ככה בנוי היתר עסקה. אם הלווה הוא יהודי שעדיין לא שומר תורה ומצוות, ואם הוא היה יודע שהוא היה יכול להישבע, ברור שהוא היה נשבע ולא משלם, הוא אומר, זה היה השקעה, והחצי של ההשקעה באמת לא הצליח. האם יש בעיה בהיתר עסקה אם מלווים ליהודי שאינו שומר תורה ומצוות?
האם יש בעיה?
של בהיתר עסקה אם מלווים ליהודי שאינו שומר תורה ומצוות.
היתר עסקה ועניין של שבועות על הטענות, אין קשר בין. היתר עסקה זה בא לומר שאנחנו משתתפים בעסק. אני נותן לך כאילו משקיע כספי אצלך, ואתה קונה דירה או קונה איזה עסק, והרווחים, אתה השקעת 80%, תקבל 80%. אני השקעתי 20, אני אקבל 20. יותר עסקה, זה מסיר את האיסור של הריבית. כי זה לא שכר על המתנת מעות, על זה שאני מחכה למעות, אלא זה עסק, כמו שותפות, שאנחנו מחליטים בינינו להשקיע. שבועה או לא שבועה זה דינים של טוען ונטען. אחד טוען כך והשני טוען אחרת, אז יש דין של המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה. ויש דין כל מיני חזקות, חזקה אין אדם פורע שלא בזמנו, ויש חזקה שאין אדם מעיס פניו בפני בעל חובו, ויש עוד חזקות, ויש דינים שיש שבועות. אז אם הוא חייב שבועה, הוא חייב, אלא מה? הוא לא יודע, צריך להודיע. מחובתם של הדיינים לומר לאדם, אתה לפי הטענות שלך, אם תשבע, הוא ייתן לך את כספך. או לפעמים נשבע ונפטר. אם תשבע, תהיה פטור מלשלם לו. אומרים לו את ההלכה, והוא יבחר אם להעדיף להישבע. יש אנשים שפוחדים משבועות בצדק, ואז מעדיפים אפילו לשלם, ויש אנשים שמעדיפים לשלם כי הם יודעים בליבם שזה לא בטוח או שזה לא נכון. אז הוא אומר, אני מוכן להישבע, איך שיהיה, אם כך, ואם כך צריך להודיע לו מה שההלכה קובעת במקרה הזה והזה, והוא יברור לעצמו באיזה דרך נוח לו ללכת, וככה יוצא דין תורה. ואילו השטר עסקה זה עניין אחר. זה רק בא לשלול את הדין של ריבית, שהוא לא נותן לו כסף בשביל המתנת מעות, אלא נותן לו את הכסף רק בשביל שהוא השקיע, ייתנו איתם תנאי. זה מה שאין קשר.
There was someone in Eretz Yisrael, there's the highway that's called Kvish 6, where it's like you need an easy pass. If you don't have an easy pass, they send you a bill. And if you don't pay it on time, so they add interest. And if you don't pay it at time another time, they add more and more interest. And then at a certain point, if you don't pay, they give it to a different company. The company who owns the street hires a private firm, and the private firm goes and asks, their job is to collect the money from the person who didn't pay. Now this private firm didn't have a heter iska, and they also keep on adding the ribis when someone doesn't pay. So there was someone in Eretz Yisrael, in Smichas Chaver, who had this, and he had a lot of ribis, and it went to a collecting agency, and the collecting agency was mechayev him a few times, and then he wanted to pay up. And then he looked into it and he saw that he didn't have a heter iska. Is there any way for him to pay up? What's his eitzah to pay up in such a case?
I mean, is it permissible to pay the ribis?
Right, yeah.
I think the Rishonim say that whenever it's a knas because you didn't pay on time, then there's no prohibition of ribis. They bring the raya from the Mishnah in Bava Basra, that the Mishnah in Bava Basra has a person borrowed $1,000 and he was supposed to pay up by a certain time. And he only paid half of it. He paid $500. And he pleads with the Malva, give me another week and I'll don't go to the bezin to take away my property, to collect now. Do me a favor, give me another week. And if I don't pay up the remaining $500 by the end of the week, I'll give you the full amount, the full $1,000. Instead of paying up $1,000, pay back $1,500. So the Mishnah doesn't raise an issue of ribbis. It just talks about asmachta lo kanya, machlokes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi, what asmachta kanya. So the Rishonim say on that Mishnah, you see that whenever there's a penalty because he's not paying on time, that's not an Isur ribbis. So the poskim say maybe ba'ofen shel halvoah we should be machmer. But here, because ribbis deraisa is only if there was a halvoah. Over here it wasn't the halvoah. Over here is he was supposed to pay for use of the highway, supposed to pay for the parking, whatever, and he's not paying on time. So that's, you have a right to charge late fee as a knas.
Even if it's multiple times.
Yeah.
Even if it's multiple.
The Rishonim bring the right from that Mishnah.
שכוח. לגבי המיסים בארצנו הקדושה, אז יש, האם מישהו יכול להוריד מהמיסים את החיוב שלו לתת מעשר כספים? כי נגיד מישהו משלם 30,000 שקל למיסים, עכשיו חלק מה-30,000 שקל הולך לישיבות, הולך לכוללים, הולך לצבא, להגן על עם ישראל, הולך אז האם זה נחשב, יכול להחשיב את זה לתור...
לכתחילה כדאי שאדם ייתן מעשר, זה מדין צדקה, מחוץ למיסים. מיסים זה חובה של כל אדם. יש לנו שותפות עם הממשלה, היא עושה הרבה הוצאות שנוגעים לאדם, וצריך לשלם כל אחד לפי הכנסתו. אז זה לא לכתחילה שזה יחשב צדקה. אבל אדם שלא עושה צדקה, ואדם שלא נותן מעשר כספים, והוא משלם, ודאי שיש פה חלק שבא לא רק לישיבות, חלק לעניים על ידי ביטוח לאומי, חלק לנכים שלא יכולים לעבוד, חלק לזקנים שהתפרנסו, ודאי שיש בזה חסד. אני פעם כתבתי תשובה ארוכה, נתפסה בספרים, לגבי מעשר עני. רציתי אז לעשות, דיברתי אז עם ראש הממשלה ועם שר האוצר, שיסכימו בעוד זה שאחראי על ביטוח לאומי, שנקבע מראש שמה שהממשלה נותנת ייקרא מעשר עני. ואז מה מרוויחים? מרוויחים שמכל ההוצאות של בתי חולים, של הצבא, זה מדובר בהוצאות על האוכל וכו', שחלק שהם ניתנים לעניים יהיה מעשר עני על זה, ונמצא רובה דרובה של עם ישראל מקיימים מצוות מעשר עני הלכה למעשה. לא רק נותנים פרוטה ואומרים זה מעשר עני, בדיעבד יוצאים, אבל לכתחילה. למעשה זה לא כל כך הלך מפני שזה היה תלוי בהרבה שרים ולא תמיד יש הסכמות. אבל ודאי שזה חסד גדול שהממשלות עושים עם העניים, וקל וחומר, עם עמלי תורה, ודאי, אבל אדם לא יסמוך על זה לכתחילה. אלא ייתן מעשרותיו וייתן צדקותיו בעין יפה, והשם ייתן לו ויקחו לי, הוא לוקח, ויש בזה תרומה, התרוממות, ותנופה למעלה להצליח עוד ועוד בעזרת השם.
Amen, amen. If someone gave the Rosh Yeshiva $10,000 to give it out to tzedakah, if someone gave the Rosh Yeshiva $10,000 to give out to tzedakah, where would the Rosh Yeshiva allocate it? ונשאל גם את הרב אחר כך, שאלתי את הרב, אם מישהו היה נותן $10,000 לראש ישיבה, איך הוא היה מחלק את $10,000 כדי לתת את זה לצדקה?
I think Rabbi Moshe Feinstein used to go every year to the Agudas Yisrael, the annual convention. He spoke every year. So one year he got up and he said, people never ask me serious shilas. They ask me silly shilas, like they have a baby girl, they want to name after a grandfather. How do you convert the male name into a female name? Those kind of shilas. No one ever asked me a serious shilah like, how should I push in the tzedakah? And he sat down. And he said, I only write shuvas when people ask me shilah. No one ever asked me That's serious. So he sat down. So when he sat down, one of the Rabbanim ran over, and he asked him, I have so much money to give to the tzedakah, where should I give it? So he wrote a tshuva. So I think he writes, I'm not sure, I think he writes that you give 2/3 to support Torah and 1/3 to Aniyim. But you have to make cheshbonis of Aniyah Yircha Kodman. So Aniyah Yircha get 2/3 of all the tzedakah you have to give. So 2/3 of that should go to supporting Torah and 1/3 to Aniyim. Then Aniyah Eretz Yisrael, again 2/3. So 1/3, 2/3 of all the money that I have goes to Aniyah Yircha. Then 2/3 of what's left goes to Aniyah Eretz Yisrael. And then whatever's left goes to the rest of the Aniyim in the world. But I think his position was that whenever you give 2/3 and 1/3, it should be 2/3 to Lomdei Torah and 1/3 to the Aniyim. In the Gemara, there's a din in Ksubis that Hamavazru Zal Yivazru Zersim Yichaimesh. You shouldn't, if you don't, unless you're a multimillionaire, you can afford to give much more than Chaimesh. But if you make a decent living, you shouldn't give more than Chaimesh Ema Yayoni V'yitztarech Labrias. Charity begins at home. So if you give too much tzedakah, you yourself may become poor. So the Chidah on Yeridea quotes the Shita Mukubetzas on that Gemara in Ksubis, since the whole reason why you shouldn't give more than Chaimesh Ema Yayoni V'yitztarech Labrias, and charity begins at home, that's only if you're giving more than Chaimesh to Aniyim. But he said if you're giving more than Chaimesh to support Torah, that is permissible. I don't know, all of the people who speak to raise money for the yeshivas, no one ever mentions that Shita Mukubetzas. But it's on the page. It's printed in Yeridea. On the bottom of the page, they quote the Chidah, pointed out the Shita Mukubetzas. I give much more than Chaimesh. I teach you on the yeshiva, so I make a fortune. So I give much more than Chaimesh, but most of my money goes to yeshivas, to Lomdei Torah.
אני חושב שאם היו נותנים לי לחלק, הייתי מחפש עניים שלא מכירים אותם. אני אסביר. יש עני שהוא מבקש לדבר. זה עני, אבל יש לו מקצוע. הוא עובד, הוא מבקש לדבות. אבל עני שהוא מתבייש, והוא מצטמק ורע לו, ולא יכול לבקש, צריך חוכמה למצוא אותו, להרגיש את החסרון שלו ולתת לו. אמר לי פעם זקן אחד, זקן גדול, בן 100 שנה, בחיפה. אמר לי, מה זה עני חשוב כמת? צריך לומר, עני כמת. יש גרסה כזאת. מה זה עני חשוב כמת? הוא אומר, עני שהוא לא חשוב, הוא לא כמת. אבל עני חשוב שהוא מתבייש לבקש. עני חשוב כמת. בגלל החשיבות שהוא מתבייש לדבר, הוא כמו מת. וזה אפשר לפרש את הפסוק בתהילים. אשרי משכיל אל דל, ביום רעה מלאתהו השם. מה זה משכיל אל דל? צריך להבין, משכיל זה שכל, חוכמה. דל זה עני. מה זה משכיל אל דל? יש עני, תן לו צדקה. אלא אשרי משכיל למצוא את הדל, הוא מתחבא, הוא מתבייש לבקש, מתבייש להראות את עצמו. אנשים כאלה צריך השכלה, חוכמה, לגלות איש כזה, איש משפחות לפעמים, משפחות שלמות נשברות, ומתביישים לדבר, ומגיעים עד שערי מוות. ממש חשוב כמת. אז אם יש אפשרות לגלות מי שמשכיל אל דל למצוא אותו, ביום רעה ימלאתהו השם, זה דבר גדול. וזה נקרא מתן בסתר מכל הכיוונים, מכל הצדדים. זה דבר גדול מאוד. אבל אלה שמבקשים, יש ביניהם שצריכים, יש, שלא הגמרא אומרת בכתובות פרק שישי, בואו ונחזיק טובה לרמאים, שאלמלא הם, חס ושלום, היו כמה קללות למי שמעלים עינו מן הצדקה. אז ודאי צריך כל אדם כשנותן טוב שיחפש את אלה שבאמת זקוקים לכסף. וקל וחומר כשנותנים לרב או למישהו לחלק, יש עליו אחריות גדולה מאוד איך לשים את הכסף. לתת כסף צריך גם חוכמה גדולה. חוכמה להבדיל בין דם לדם, בין איש לאיש, למצוא את האמת, את הזקוק יותר. וזה הדבר החשוב ביותר, השם יזכנו, שלא ניכשל בדברים האלה.
Amen, Bezrat Hashem. Sitting here and listening to the Gdolei Yisrael, it's you get a mesikus of Torah. אנחנו שומעים את הרבנים ואת הדברי תורה ואת ההלכות, כל אחד מקבל מתיקות של תורה. אז חשבתי שנזמין את יעקב, הזמר, הבעל תפילה, הצדיק הגדול, שישיר והערב נא, שיר מאוד מאוד יפה שלו, אבל איך שהוא מגיע, אולי נשאל עוד שאלה. As I think we will ask Rabbi Yaakov Shwekey, who's an amazing, he sings to the soul, to sing the HaRav Shlomo, because when we sit here in the presence of Gdolei Yisrael, the Torah mamish becomes sweet. But beforehand, we'll ask the Yeshiva maybe just a short question, and that is, what's one message the Yeshiva learned from his Rabbeim that you would want to teach us? A message, anything.
One.
I know there's a lot, yeah. For the tzibur here.
I mean, what's the most important message?
Yeah. It was a very open-ended question.
You have to give it a lot of thought to figure out what's the most important message. That I don't know. One of the many messages that I got from my Rebbe was when he would be learning and he would find something difficult, he would ask all the kashas with chutzpah. It's a crazy Rambam. How can he say such a thing? Doesn't make any sense. With chutzpah he would ask. And then he would work hard to find out the answer. And then once he came up with a pshat, he would move back as if the Shekhinah was just revealed to him. And then he would be no more chutzpah. He only had the chutzpah. Kol zman it was difficult, and the Rebbe Shalom gave us the Torah. We have the obligation to ask kashas, obligation to break our heads and figure out pshat. And after he figured out pshat, as if the Torah represents HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as if there was a gila shechina for him. So then he had the cheretz, no more chutzpah. Every time he gave a shiur like that, he would ask all the kashas with chutzpah and give the pshat with chutzpah, and then he would calm down, no more chutzpah. That was one of the many things that he had.
האם לרב יש איזה מסר שהוא קיבל מהרבותיו שרוצה להעביר לקהל, איזה לפני ש...
אני חושב שימי הפורים, אנחנו זוכרים את הפורים של ימי הילדות, מסכות, קצת יין, ורוקדים ושרים. אבל קצת, השנים גדלנו קצת, צריכים להתבונן, נכון, מצווה לשתות קצת, חייב איניש לבסומי בפוריה, אבל צריך גם להתרומם ולזכור שבפורים קיבלנו את התורה מרצון. מאז מתן תורה זה היה בגדר אונס, מודעה רבה לאורייתא. בפורים קיימו וקיבלו היהודים עליהם ועל זרעם, קיימו מה שקיבלו. יש אפשרות מתוך השמחה, מתוך שיוצאים מהגדר של ההנהגה הרגילה, יש אפשרות להתעלות לדרגה של לקבל תורה מחדש ברצון גמור, בנפש חפצה. וזה צריכים לנצל, צריך הכנה לזה, אנחנו כבר בימים הקרובים מתקרבים לפורים, להתכונן ולחשוב מה אנחנו לוקחים מפורים. אומרים בשם האריזל, יום הכיפורים כפורים. יום הכיפורים, היום הקדוש והנורא, הוא רק כפורים. זאת אומרת שאפשר לצאת מפורים ברכוש גדול, רכוש רוחני גדול, בהתעלות גדולה בתורה וביראת שמיים. וחבל שיעברו הימים הגדולים האלה ולא ניקח מהם מה שצריכים לקחת מהם. קחו עמכם דברים ושובו אל השם.
I want to call up Rabbi Yaakov, who I had the schus of spending a Shabbos with him this year. And I can tell you that his Ahavas HaTorah, if there is any singer in the world that would be fit for Smichas Chaver, it would for sure be Rabbi Yaakov. His mom is always learning. I don't know if you noticed on the side, every minute his mom is learning. And therefore, there's no greater song. Rabbi Yaakov's V'harav Na Mamish, it's incredible. And Sheyeh Mitikut HaTorah B'ezrat Hashem.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. I don't know about that, but I feel the sweetness. אני מרגיש את המתיקות של התורה פה רק שיושב ושומע. מנסים ללמוד וללכת בדרכי ההלכה. What a Kiddush Hashem you're doing, Rabbi, with Smichas Chaver. So many people want to learn halacha, so many people want to come close to the Torah, and you make it easy. You make it easy for them to come and to learn. This is, you're making the generation worthy of redemption with this schus. It's amazing to be here. Toda Rabba. We say every single day, V'ha'arevna, make the words of Torah sweet in our mouth. No more fitting song in front of the rabbis here to sing. Hashem Elokeinu Esti Yivrei Soidosecha Ay befinu Ubefiyos Amcho Beis Yisroi V'hare Uy v'hare Yivnu Hashem Elokeinu Esti Yivrei Soidosecha Befinu Ubefiyos Amcho Beis Yisroi Ay v'niyeh Amachnu Tzetzoweinu Mi v'tzetzoweinu Amcho Beis Yisroi I call on you Ya Yidei Yishmeru Ay v'lodei Yisayna Zerad Yishmo Ay Tzetzoweinu V'tzetzoweinu Beis Yisroi I call Umadu Ya Yidei Yishmeru Ay v'lodei Yisayna Zerad Yishmo Bakasho Oy Penei Tzuvunat Bikdusho Hey Doedo Makto Yisho He's running even Bakasho He's running even Bakasho I Doedo Makto He's running even Bakasho I Penei Tzuvunat Bikdusho We want to thank the rabbis, רוצים להגיד תודה רבה מכל הלב לרבנים to give us the metikut. Rabbi, you too, give us the sweetness of Torah. Bezrat Hashem, Hashem should bless you on behalf of all of us. כל הברכות, כל הישועות, בעזרת השם, עם בריאות עד 120 שנה, to lead us to Mashiach צדקנו, אמן ואמן. Yomim asbiyeyu yareyu bishwase oyinach yomim asbiyeyu yomim asbiyeyu yom bishwase
Awaken our souls. Let's go. Here we go. We're listening.
Thank you so much. So one of the messages, I mean, nowhere near the caliber as a rabbi to even speak, especially the rabbis that were here on stage. The message that we see throughout history is the message of unity, Mendy. The message of unity. How do we open this thing over here? What's the code, my friend? 6-5. Now that everybody knows the code, they could sing along with me over here. I'm not fulfilling the code over here. Hold on. Mendy Hershkowitz. Chazak. We say Libi b'mizrach v'anochi b'sof ma'arav, right? We did an album like that. Somebody told me, Rabbi Foyer, many years ago, he said a great message. He said, it's a lashon yachid, libi, my heart. When we accepted the Torah, the rabbi spoke about accepting the Torah b'simcha. Libi, if we are one heart, b'mizrach, or b'zoicha to be b'mizrach. If we are united. If it's anochi, it's only about me and myself and my message and whatever it is, Besof Ma'arav. We came up with the song after October 7th. We saw that the unity of Am Yisrael, of course, when our backs are against the wall, but still, Hashem looks at it with a smile and says, my kids are united, and therefore we'll show them the miracles that we so see in our days. It happened in a flash. The siren sounds. A moment of fear. We lie on the ground.
The dance is done.
Torah's back in the yard.
The sun might be shining,
but the world's gone dark.
but deep within us something shifts. A memory given to us as a gift. Oh, oh, the courage and the strength to get up from the floor. Ready 'cause we know what we're fighting for. Ariya Yisha, and like a lion we roar. And like a lion we roar. We're in it together, join hand in hand. B'yachad ninatzeh, united we stand. It's moments like this, here with our backs to the wall, that we're strongest of all, strongest of all, strongest of all.
Yes, they come to destroy, but instead they expose.
For in moments like this,
Our nation glows.
every sort of Jew,
They reach deep inside.
oh, pray, give and send, hearts open wide. What divides us is forgotten now. People are responding to a silent vow. Oh, an army of love, a family all in. No matter who you are, where you're from, or been. That's why we always win. That's why we always win. We're in it together, join hand in hand. B'yachad ninatzeh, united we stand. It's moments like this, here with our backs to the wall, that we're strongest of all, strongest of all, strongest of all. We're in it together, together, hand in hand. B'yachad ninatzeh, united we stand. It's moments like this, here with our backs to the wall, that we're strongest of all, strongest of all, strongest of all. Now put your hands. Come on, why you? Let me hear you. B'yachad ninatzeh. Oh, yo, yeah. Chai v'kayom. Am Yisrael chai, צריכים את האחדות. ב'yachad ננצח. דו, 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 דו. חי, חי וקיים. עם ישראל ב'yachad ננצח. עם ישראל חי וקיים. נה 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 נה.
Thank you so much. Toda rabah. So one of the things we were talking about in there with the rabbi, with the chief rabbi, Rabbi Amar, how is it possible that over 1 million children in Israel? Levi, you mind shutting the delay while I'm speaking? Thanks so much, appreciate it. Levi Engineering here tonight. Thank you, Levi. Appreciate it very much. It's amazing that over 1 million children in Israel have no idea what Shema Israel is. Chamovadia Yosef Alav Shalom wrote this, and I decided to sit down with the composer, one of the greatest in Israel. His name is Avi Hayon, extremely spiritual guy, and I told him I want to write to the core of what the issue is. And he said, the truth is, some of the kids, they don't even know that they have a neshama. They have no idea what it is. They're just born, they just go, and they're just not taught anything. So, although they're so pure, but they don't know how to reach it. So we wrote this song, Guf Neshama, this message of Shema Yisrael. It's amazing, after the war, of course, you see, we're actually coming out with another version of it. Myself and Amir Dadon, in the coming weeks, I hope. We're trying to put it together. But thank you, appreciate the hand. Who was just clapping over there? It's my friend. What's your name? What is it? Yochanan? That's the fan right there. Appreciate it. Yochanan! Yochanan, why don't you come up for this next song? Come on. We need you. We need Yochanan over here. Come on, Yochanan. My man. Ah. How old are you?
25.
Wow, where you from?
Miami, North Miami Beach.
Shh. Well, how do you handle the cold over here?
I don't know.
You know what? Me neither. Me neither. The truth is, we all don't know. Whenever I'm in Miami, my wife is asking me, we're just there last week, why don't we just live here full time? Huh? So I guess we got to go to Yochanan's house. So, but you're inviting us?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. We're all gonna go to Yochanan's home, and we're just gonna have just a party and sing, right?
Yes.
You know a few Shwekey songs?
Yes.
Okay, good. So me and you are great pals. Anyway, whether you know it or not, I love you anyway. You know that. Guf Neshama is this song we're gonna sing with Yochanan over here. Yochanan, if you need the lyrics, they're right here, my friend, okay?
תמיד בסוף היום יש איזה רגע קטן, הלב שלי שוקע כשהאור נעלם, קשה לי לראות בדרך אליך. רציתי לדבר איתך על מה שבלב, על רגע מאושר, לא רק על מה שכואב. עשה לי טובה, אל תסתיר את פניך. תמיד אתה יודע מתי, אם התרחקתי מדי, כמו ילד הולך לאיבוד, צעקתי אליך. שמע ישראל, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. שמע ישראל, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. מה זה גוף ונשמה? בשביל מה? רוצה להיות קרוב אליך שנה ועוד שנה. בשביל מה? ומי אני כאן בלעדיך?
Love it, Yochanan.
שלפעמים גם העצב נצמד, יד על העיניים ואני לא לבד. כתבתי שירים עליי ועליך, רציתי לספר לך על יום שעבר, תמיד אתה איתי גם במתוק גם במר. רציתי להיות הטוב בעיניך, תמיד אתה יודע מתי, אם התרחקתי מדי, כמו ילד הולך לאיבוד, וצעקתי אליך. בשמע ישראל, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. שמע ישראל, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. מה זה גוף ונשמה? בשביל מה? רוצה להיות קרוב אליך שנה ועוד שנה. בשביל מה? ומי אני כאן בלעדיך?
Our prayer is that every child knows what Shema Yisrael is. That'll turn will bring the Geulah.
ישראל, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. שמע ישראל,
Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad.
בשביל מה רוצה להיות קרוב אליך שנה ועוד שנה בשביל מה ומי אני כאן בלעדיך
Yochanan, I think I'm going to bring you wherever I go. What a joy to be on stage with you. What do you want to say to the crowd here tonight?
I love you, crowd. I'm Israel Chai.
Yeah. Big hand for Yochanan. Be careful. Wow. Okay, so we have a lot of songs that we can do. Any requests here tonight? Because this is just... What about We Are a Miracle? Yeah. You know, Yochanan, do you know that we are the greatest miracle in the world? You said Am Yisrael Chai before. There was a rabbi who wrote that you can look at all the miracles throughout history and know that Am Yisrael Chai is the greatest miracle in the world. Let's celebrate that here tonight. Gonna bring up the track a little bit, Levi. Yeah.
A nation in the desert, we started out as slaves. Oh, we made it to the motherland, and then came the crusades. So many years, so many tears. Don't you know? Don't you really know? We are pushed to the ground through our faith. We are found standing strong now. The Spanish Inquisition, they wanted us to bow. But our backs ain't gonna bend, never then and never now. So many years, so many tears, don't you know? Don't you really know? I pushed to the ground, through it, we are found standing strong now. We are a miracle.
Yes,
We are a miracle. We were chosen with love and embraced from above, and we are a miracle. Termination was the plan when the devil was a man. The few who carried on live familiar to our God. So many years, so many tears, don't you know? Don't you really know? We are pushed to the ground, Robert. We are found standing strong now. We are a miracle. We are a miracle. We were chosen with love and embraced from above. And we are a miracle. Every day we fight a battle. On the news, we are the stars. History repeats itself and makes us who we are. Hate is all around us, but we'll be here to sing this song.
that's right, we're here singing the song. YU, Manhattan. Proud Am Yisrael Chai. Let's sing it together.
We are a miracle, yeah. And we are a miracle. We were chosen with love and embraced from above. And we are a miracle. We are a
miracle. Through it all we remain, and who can explain? And we are the most amazing miracle. So we want to do some songs also that you know. What's amazing is that Purim is coming up. And it's amazing that Achashverosh, the Medrash says, he had the greatest party in the world. But how could you have the greatest party, Yochanan, when you don't have any music, right? How could you have a party without music? So the Medrash says that Achashverosh was such a Rasha, he knew the power of music, that the Jews would come in there, the Yehudim would come in, maybe get inspiration, and then will revert back and do tshuva me'ahava and leave. So he didn't want to take that chance. It's amazing to think about what the music can do for the neshama, for the happiness, for the joy of who you are as a Yehudi. We raise up that glass right after Purim and we're going to say, B'chol dor v'dor omdim aleinu l'chaloteinu, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam. You guys know that song from Miami? Of course you do. You're going to sing it Pesach time? I think I'm going to sing it on Purim too. Mendi b'chavod v'hisha amda. But we need everybody's participation here tonight. She'amda lavoiseveinu lemehiyugaz vehish. Yochanan, make sure everybody sings, all right? There we go. Shelo. Oy vehi she'amda lavoiseveinu ay vehi she'amda lavoiseveinu velavanu oh shelo yegan umatolenu lechaseinu umat olenu lechaseinu. Let me hear you guys. Hivei HaKadosh. Parliament here, you guys. Hivei HaKadosh. just want to thank Rabbi Eliada for bringing me here tonight. Vehi she'amda lavoteinu v'lanu. Vehi is Vav is Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. Hey is the Chamisha Chumshei Torah. It's a Torah that stood for us throughout history, that made us who we are and protected us. So I want to say thank you. You should have tremendous hatzlacha with Tzmichat Chaver. Thank you to Colin Goldstein, my dear friend, who always wants to support Torah, support Shira Zu Tfilah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll come out of this a lot stronger as we learn Torah and we sing songs and we connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that will be our protection for the generation. Acheinu kol beis Yisrael. Yeah. Kol beis Yisrael. Oh yeah. Kol beis Hanesus Batzara uva Oimdim bein bayom Uvein bayam Bobosho Uyacheinu Kol beis Yisrael Yahuvido Kol beis Yisrael Hanesunim Batzor Uvashivyo Oimdim bein bayom Uvein bayam Bobosho. Let me hear you. Oy hamoko oy mirama Hele Oh me afi hiloli ubingo Ashto hebagona Uvizman koni Yamoko yerama Yerache Yerache malelem yoitzie mitzovano Helir uvoho me'afilo le'obino Umeshibo Hilege yula ashta Bagana And you bizman kone Okoim yeravachem Yerachem maleyem yoitzie mitzovaro Helir uvoho me'afilo le'obino Meshibo Hilege yulo ashto Bagana And you bizman kol. Let me hear you one more time. Amor La 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 dum di da da dum do 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 do. Oh Bagana. Go to B minor. La la di da 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 di da 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 do. La la di do 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 mo yo yo. La da di da da. Oh yo yo. La la di do do do. One more time. Oh yo 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 yo. Rabbi, it's such a treat to be here. It's a treat to be in your shul. So many congregants coming to learn Torah, feeling close to you. Hashem should bless you, should continue to perpetuate Torah. to celebrate Torah, to sing about Torah, and to give nechamot to people in your shul who have lost loved ones. What an emotional Friday night we had in your shul. But I see people smiling as they're learning, as you're bringing the notes. You were taught well, I can tell you that. Seeing your father dedicate his time every 2 weeks on an El Al flight. Every time I go on a flight, I see him over there in the same seat. I mean, it's unbelievable what he does for Torah. So you come from such dedication. And Hashem should bless you, your Rebbetzin, your entire family, parents, your whole mishpacha. And this yeshiva, university, I'm not sure what it is, university or yeshiva, but I see it's a yeshiva here tonight. In the back room, they have full of svarim. They continue to teach Torah and realize that we're not just another university out there. We're yeshiva university. Yeshiva is first. It's such a beautiful thing to see. So many students coming to learn Torah, to daven. Amazing. Being blessed, Bezrat Hashem, for many more generations. Ad biyat goel tzedek, amen ve'amen. La'agdil Torah ve'la'adira. What song are we in? I forgot.
רחם נאו השם אלוהינו אחי על ישראל ורחם ויד ירושלים עיר הקודש רחם וירחם 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 Hashem Elokeinu rachem Al Yisrael Amecha Ohi rachem Ve'ad Yerushalayim Irecha rachem 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 Al Tzion Mishkan Kevoidecha Malchus Beis David Meshichecha V'al habayis hagodoy v'hakodosh v'rachem rachem Rav Amachem Tziyui Mishkan Kivuyidecha V'al Malchus Beis David Meshichecha
The song doesn't get old. It's the words, it's the prayer, it's the emotion.
We ask you, Master of the world, Al Israel, on your holy nation, and yes, and holy Jerusalem, Oy ve'al tziyui mishkan kivuyidecha Oy ve'al Malchus Beis David Meshichecha Oy ve'al habayis hagodoy ve'hakodosh Virachem Oyim lo yahavale Oyim lo yare ירושלים על הראש שמחתי ובויה על ראש שמחתי.
You guys know the song? Oyim loi.
ירושלים היום אותי ישכח ירמיני
תדבק לשוני עליכי אם לא אזכריכי
אם אשכחך. How can I forget you, Jerusalem?
תדבק לשוני לכי אם לא אזכריכי. Let's sing it together. We gotta finish off with Kalbach. Meyayin, meyayin, zri got to tell you a story because I'm just remembering it now. You can lift up the key, by the way, 2 times. Before we end here, there's a rabbi in Miami, by the way, Yochanan, where you live. Where do you live, by the way? What neighborhood? We didn't get your address. Okay, we'll have to get it afterwards. I don't want to announce it. Everybody's going to come over for gefilte fish. What a smile you have, Yochanan. You light up the world. There's a rabbi in a shul over there. So happy you came. And you sat right next to me. He told me, I asked him, how did he become a rabbi? He said, the truth is my father was not religious at all. My father was in some sort of camp in Europe, a kids camp. And there were children over there, a lot of them not religious like he was, and some of them were religious. He was walking by a bunk, he was a teenager, and he heard a song from Shlomo Amar Shalom, and he stopped in his tracks, and he decided right then and there that he wants to know where the song is. He looked it up, he started listening to songs, Jewish music. The rest is history. He went to Israel to learn Torah, he started to learn, and his son is a rabbi. So can you imagine the schus of just a song being out there and somebody connecting to it and changing their lives? It's unbelievable. Anyway, that was Shlomo, alav shalom. Let me hear you. Yahavo Esli, Ayehu Esayina. Ayehu Esli, Ayehu Mashem, Yochanan, you have a few friends that are here with you? Bring them up on stage for the last song. Yochanan, come up with your friends over there. Go up a step, Mandy, if you don't mind. What's your name? See. N-I-T-T-I, okay. Wow. Oh yeah? Wow, so happy you guys. Come on, a big hand for the boys. Let's go. Yibane hamigdash, Yitzion, Yitzion. Yibane, Yibane, Yibane hamigdash, Yitzion, Yitzion, Yitzion Yibane. Veshom noshim techadosh, uvelo lo na'ale. Veshom noshim shilcho. Let's go. Let's go, Chevre. Let's go, Chevre. Pirim. Some Pirim songs, Mendy. Some Pirim songs he wants. Let's go. Yeah, go, go, go. by. Lift up the instruments so I can hear them. I don't hear them. Sawaido, la yudim my jaida, la yudim my jaida, but I'm going to let me go. Ah, yudim my sawaido, la yudim my sawaido, yudim my jaida, but I'm going to let me go. Ay, 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 Kane, to yellow, I'm the Kane, in the yellow, Kane, in the yellow, Kane, the yellow, no, Kane, to yellow, Kane. These guys can sing. You're amazing guys. Love you too. Let's go. Let's go, you guys are the best. יד ביד, ישראל זה עם אחד, ומלמעלה הוא עוזר, שומר ישראל, עם ישראל, השמן, עם ישראל, לא לפחד, השמן אלוקינו השם אחד, עם ישראל, לא לפחד, השמן אלוקיך הולך איתך, עם ישראל, לא לפחד, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. This guy is amazing. Everybody, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Mandy Hershkowitz Band, thank you so much.